Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us for the regular council meeting of July 12th. Just a few housekeeping items before we start. If you have a cell phone, can you please turn your cell phone to off or to vibrate? Please note that the council meetings are now being live streamed, recorded, and retained. All personal information collected will be managed in accordance with the Freedom of Information and Protection of Privacy Act, the FOIP Act. And just before we start the meeting, I just want to say a few things. So I think everyone knows that the county suffered through an EF4 tornado on the Canada Day celebrations. And so I just wanted to mention that our hearts and thoughts are with those that are impacted by the tornado. I want to send out an incredible thank you to our emergency services, all those that responded on Saturday, that's being the Carstairs Fire Department, all of the other fire departments in the area. I believe Olds and Didsbury were there as well. The RCMP detachments, and of course to our own staff, our Director of Emergency Management, Mr. Morrison, and Christopher Atchison and his team. I would like to say thank you to all of the county staff, the road crews that were out trying to make sure that everyone had access to getting utilities and services back, and making sure and securing the area to make sure it was safe for residents. And of course, we can't underestimate the power of Albertans in the amount of volunteers that came out from every direction, within our own county, within our bordering counties, within Calgary and Red Deer. It was just, it was quite incredible and overwhelming to see the support and the resiliency of everyone in the area. So we continue to work with the impacted landowners, and we continue to see volunteers come and show up and show their support. So thank you to everyone who participated in that, and for everyone who sent their thoughts and prayers. So with that, I will first do introductions, please. Mr. Morrison.
Good morning, Ryan Morrison. I'm the Director of Operational Services.
Good morning, Lorianne Marshall, Director of Corporate Services.
Good morning, I'm Chris Strachan. I'm Director of Legislative, Community and Agricultural Services.
Good morning, Margaret Bloom, Director of Planning and Development Services.
Good morning, Jeff Holmes, Chief Administrative Officer.
Good morning, Jennifer Lutz, Division 7 Councillor.
Good morning, Peggy Johnson, Division 6 Councillor.
And we have Councillor Krebs is joining us via Zoom. So Councillor Krebs, please.
Good morning, Councillor Krebs, Division 4.
Thank you. And Angela Albers, Division 5. Councillor Reeve.
Good morning, Alan Miller, Division 3 Councillor.
Morning, Greg Harris, Division 2.
Good morning, Dwayne Fulton, Division 1 Councillor.
Good morning, Laura McMillan, Executive Assistant.
Good morning, I'm Delu Gonzalez, Planner.
Good morning, Shelley French, Communications Coordinator.
Thank you very much. And we have an agenda in front of us. Are there any changes to the agenda? No. So I just have, sorry, I'll make sure that I start looking at the Zoom. I just have one. I would like to move 13.2 after the 8.1, the directives, please. So just a change in the schedule, not an addition. So if there's no objections, could I have a motion to adopt the agenda, please? Moved by Councillor Miller. All in favor? So sorry, Councillor Krebs, could you use your hand so we can record you, or would you prefer to use your mic?
No, I'll use my hand. I'm just looking for the button. So I'll vote yes on this one, and I'll find the button.
Okay. So I'll just give you a second to find the button, and then we'll just make sure it works until we get on to our next one. So we'll just wait for you to find the button. Oh, perfect. Okay, so I'll call the question on the motion then. All in favor? And Councillor Krebs's hand is in favor, and so that motion is carried. So we have no business arising. We will move right into our public hearing. Okay, so we'll move into our public hearing. This is bylaw number LU 623. I just need to find the bylaw. 3.1. Oh boy, I'm sorry. It has been a very long week. I am very, very sorry. We'll move back to 3.1, the adoption of the minutes. Is there any changes or errors to the minutes? No. So with council's, I'll actually make the motion for this, but we are doing a new practice of trying to follow a better governance model on how we make motions and amending motions. And so on page, I'll just draw your attention to it. So on page 4 under 9.2, this was our first crack at doing main motions and amending motions. And so with council's permission, I'm going to move to defer the adoption of the minutes until after the morning break. And then I just want to have an opportunity to discuss with administration that we've captured that absolutely correctly. So there's a motion to defer the adoption of the minutes until after the council break, or after the council break this morning. Is there any questions to that motion? No? So with that, then I'll call the question. All in favor of deferral? And opposed? Okay, so Councillor Krebs, can you hear us?
Yeah, it just takes me a second, so I'm in favor.
Okay.
We can't just do it where I can vote against. You just assume I'm in favor of stuff, or it takes about 10 seconds to bring up the little thumb.
No, I'll wait for you. I think it's important that we actually see the vote on the screen. So I'll wait for you. I'll slow down, Councillor Krebs, and give you time. So I'll call to question again of that motion. All in favor? And Councillor Krebs' hand is in favor, and that motion is carried. Thank you for bearing with me here. So we'll move on to 5.1 now. Being a bylaw number LU 0623, being a bylaw of Mountain View County in the province of Alberta to amend land use bylaw number 2121 affecting the Northwest 2429-5 west of the 5th pursuant to the Municipal Government Act. This received first reading on June 14th, 2023. With that, I will open the public hearing and I will turn it over to planning, please.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Item 5.1 of the agenda package pertains to a redesignation proposal submitted by Carrie and Jody Litzenberger and located within Division 2. The application proposes the reassignation of approximately 40 acres to Agricultural 2 District with intent to create a first parcel out from a previously unsubdivided water section. The proposal is in the rural community of Water Valley Winchell Lake, southwest from the village of Cremona. This area of the county is predominantly agricultural. The adjacent quarters to the northwest and southwest have been previously subdivided for the purposes of creating small agricultural parcels. The topography in the area is hummocky with rolling hills to the west in which the Stony Creek flows. Most of the subject property has a CLI class 5 with an area within the proposal close to the water body with a class C. Agri-Seed's land suitability rating system is a class 4 as first dominant. The county farmland assessment shows the proposed area to be at 34% productivity, which is fairly good to good arable, and the area with tree coverage is at 9.5 productivity and considered to be good to very good pasture. Within this property and vicinity, there is a level 3 environmental significant area identified as a connector in which the Stony Creek and other water bodies flow through. Should council approve this application in accordance with county's policy, at the subdivision stage, environmental protection will be required as a condition of subdivision approval. Oil and gas activity in the area relates to natural gas lines servicing residences in the area. The application was circulated to adjacent landowners and referral agencies to provide comments of importance. Alberta Transportation grants approval subject to the following. The second access in the northeast corner may remain and will be reevaluated in the future. And a service road dedication may be required in the future for the remaining land. A letter of objection from the adjacent landowners to the north outlining the following concerns: carving up valuable farmland, access to the remaining land, fences and impact to the wildlife, and no compliance with the area structure plan. A letter of objection and the applicant's response have been included in attachments 4 and 5 for council to consider. As submitted by the landowners, the proposal of 40 acres is in the west side of the subject quarter section. The proposal is to downsize the farming operation while minimizing impact of the land. The proposal consists of a developed yard with areas for raising of livestock and pasture land. The developed area in the southeast is serviced by means of a water well and a private sewage treatment system. Access to this proposal is directly off Highway 579, and Alberta Transportation has no concerns. The historical aerial photographs demonstrate how the proposal has remained unchanged for almost 20 years. In accordance with Figure 3 of the Municipal Development Plan, the proposal is in a growth center for the area in Water Valley, Winchell Lake, in which an area structure plan has been adopted that provides a specific policy direction. However, the provisions of Section 4 of the ASP indicates that proposals can be evaluated in conjunction with the policies of the Municipal Development Plan. As such, the policies in the policies in the agricultural preservation area of the Municipal Development Plan supports new agricultural parcels at a minimum of 40 acres and subject to tree designation approval. In accordance with Figure 2 of the area structure plan, the proposal is within the residential low density policy area, which will allow for a maximum of 4 titles per quarter section. The provision in policy 4.2.3 promotes and encourages agricultural uses in the planned area, which is the intent of this application. Here we're looking at SAT lines, looking west and east along Highway 579, as well as the existing access approach to the proposal. Here we're looking at the northern area adjacent to the highway, which area is currently used as pasture land. Here we're looking on the east side of the driveway to the area north of the proposal adjacent to the remaining land. This whole area is also used as pasture land. This is the view of west side of the proposal and corresponds to the top of the banks of the Stony Creek. This area is also used as pasture land. This is the general view of the central area with pasture land and tree coverage. Within the proposal, there is a developed yard consisting of a dwelling unit with attached garage and a storage shed. And towards the center of the proposal, there is the ruins of an old cabin. Based on the policies of the Municipal Development Plan and the Water Valley Winchell Lake Area Structure Plan, planning and development is in support of this application, and the landowner is in the gallery if council has questions. Thank you.
Thank you. And I forgot in my opening spiel to say, those that are coming to speak to council, please come forward. The mic will be live. And if you could state and spell your name for the record, just so we can make sure we have accuracy in the minutes, that would be great. So at this time, I'll ask if the applicant has any new or additional information they would like to add. Okay, thank you. The applicant waves. Is there anyone in the gallery who would like to speak in favor of this application? Is there anyone online who would like to speak in favor of this application? Okay, seeing none. Is there anyone in the gallery who would like to speak in opposition to this application? Is there anyone online who would like to speak in opposition to this application? Okay, seeing none, I will open the floor to council for questions, please. Councillor Johnson.
Just a question for clarity, and I think my question is to the applicant. In the letter of concern.
Would you like the applicant to come forward, Councillor Johnson? Is the
Yes,
question
please.
for the applicant? Could I ask the applicant
Yes.
to please come forward to the mic?
Thank you.
Bring my notes. Old guy, I might not remember what I said.
Thank you. Okay, Councillor Johnson.
In the letter of concern, it said that a new driveway would cross either Stony Creek or the tributary or both. And yet the letter from Alberta Transportation suggests a shared driveway. Can you just clarify whether or not the new access is going to cross the water tributaries?
Yeah, no change. I'm not sure where that thought came from. It's the same access road. Nothing changes.
Thank you.
Okay, while we have the applicant in front of us, is there any additional questions for the applicant? Just give Councillor Krebs a minute. Okay, seeing none, thank you very much.
Okay, no emotional outbursts, nothing.
No, you're fine, thank you.
Thanks.
Is there any other questions from council? So maybe I just have one to planning, just clarity. I think you touched on this in your presentation, but we did have a letter of concern saying that this didn't fit the area structure plan because it was not a 3 to 5 acre parcel. Just confirmation, is there anything that administration can see where this does not fit the area structure plan?
We're working to provide more clarity in the current review of the area structure plan, but that wording comes from the previous MDP. Since the MDP has higher hierarchy than the ASB, it will be the policies of the MDP that would prevail, and therefore the MDP will support first parcel out for new agricultural parcels, which is this proposal.
Okay, thank you for the clarification. I'll ask one more time if there's any additional questions. If not, I'll ask if administration has any closing comments, please.
No comments, thank you.
Thank you. And does the applicant have any closing comments? No, the applicant waives. And so with that, I will close the public hearing and I will look for a motion, please. Councillor Harris.
I'll move council give second reading to bylaw LU 06/23, redesignating the lands within the northwest of 24, 29, 5 west of the 5th.
Thank you very much. Any discussion? No? Okay, with that, I will call to question. All in favor? And Councillor Krebs' hand has shown in favor of that motion, and so that motion is carried. And Councillor Harris, please.
I'll move that council give third reading to bylaw LU 06/23, redesignating the lands within the northwest of 24, 29, 5 west of the 5th.
Thank you very much. Any discussion? Seeing none, I'll call to question. All in favor? And Councillor Krebs' hand is shown in favor, and that motion is carried. Thank you. And so we do have a STARS delegation coming at 1 p.m. So wherever we are in the agenda, we will be stopping and we will be going to our delegation at 1 p.m. So with that, we'll move on to 7.1, please. I'll look for a motion. Councillor Fulton.
I'll move that council give first reading to bylaw LU 09/23, redesignating the lands within the southwest 25, 31, 6 west of the 5th.
Thank you very much. Any discussion? Call to question. All in favor? And Councillor Krebs's hand is in favor, and that motion is carried. Councillor Fulton.
I'll further move that council set the public hearing for bylaw LU 09/23, redesignating the lands within the Southwest 25-31-6 west of the 5th for August 9th, 2023 at or after 9 a.m.
Thank you very much. I will call to question. All in favor? And Councillor Krebs's hand is in favor, and that motion is carried. 7.2, please. Councillor Miller.
I move the council give first reading to bylaw LU 10/23, redesignating the lands within the Southwest 3-32-1-5.
Thank you very much. Any discussion? Seeing none, I'll call to question. All in favor? And Councillor Krebs's hand is in favor, and that motion is carried. Councillor Miller, please.
I'll move the council set the public hearing for bylaw LU 10/23, redesignate the lands within the Southwest of 3-32-1-5 for August 9th, 2023 on or after 9 a.m.
Thank you very much. Any discussion? I'll call to question. All in favor? And Councillor Krebs's hand is in favor, and that motion is carried. 7.3, please. Councillor Letts.
I would move that council give first reading to bylaw number 19/23, redesignating the lands within Northwest 13375 and the plan 0810088, block 1, lot 1.
Thank you very much. Any discussion? I'll call to question. All in favor? And Councillor Krebs's hand is in favor, and that motion is carried. Councillor Letts, please.
I move that council schedule a special council meeting for August 14th, 2023.
Thank you very much. Any discussions? Call to question. All in favor? Councillor Krebs's hand is in favor, and that motion is carried. Councillor Letts.
And I further move that council set the public hearing for bylaw number 1923, redesignating the lands within Northeast 13375 and plan number 0810088, block 1, lot 1 for August 14th, 2023 at or after 9 a.m.
Thank you. And I heard Northeast. So just a clarification.
Northwest, sorry.
Okay, thank you very much. Any discussion? No, I will call to question. All in favor? And Councillor Krebs's hand is in favor of that motion. That motion is carried. Okay, so before we move on to the directives, and so thank you for coming. I'm assuming that you're here for the Shots Lake discussion. So thank you very much for coming. So we will have more information to share. Please follow the website when all of the agenda package comes out for that. And then we will have a special council meeting on August 14th with the idea that we can spend the time required and not have to rush through this and make sure that we do the due diligence to this file. So thank you for coming. Before we move on to 8.1, I forgot to mention at the beginning of the meeting, so Councillor Harris will be stepping away from the table from at 10 o'clock for a meeting, and we have Councillor Lutz who will also have to step away from the table at 11 o'clock. So just so everyone knows what's going on, and we will endeavor to take a break at 10 o'clock today. So 8.1, Jeff, please.
Thank you, Reeve. So starting on page 148 are the directives for council's information, and they continue on to page 149. So we'll start with page 148, and if there's any questions council has about any of the updates that have been provided, I'd be happy to try and answer them.
Thank you. Is there any questions for Jeff on page 148? No, I had none. So any questions for Jeff on page 149, please? Okay, so Jeff, if there's nothing you would like to add, and if there's no questions, we have a motion on page 147, please. Councillor Lutz.
I move that council receive the council directions as information with no further action to be taken.
Thank you. Any further discussion? I'll call to question. All in favor? And Councillor Krebs's hand is in favor of that motion, and so that motion is carried. Okay. So as per the discussion at the beginning and the changes to the agenda, I'd like to move into 13.2. So could I have a motion to go into closed session, please? Moved by Councillor Harris. All in favor? Sorry, I'm just going to call one more time. All in favor? And so Councillor Krebs's hand is in favor of the motion. And so we'll just give a couple of minutes for Laura to make sure that we're secure.